Daniel Dubois destroyed Anthony Joshua. Myself and the majority of the experts and fans all chose AJ to win. I just thought all that experience, headlining stadiums, defending these world titles would just be enough. But how wrong was I? And also to mention, I was there at Wembley with the Pain Game doing live commentary on DAZN as part of the pay-per-view. You could choose to watch us as the commentary. What a night, it was amazing, a night I'll never forget. I've got to give a huge thank you to True Geordie for making it happen, because I've been involved with boxing for a long time and I've done pretty well, but I still never thought I'd get an opportunity like this, so a massive thank you. Okay, so let's get into it. From the minute Joshua entered the ring, to me he just didn't look right. I said to the lads on the Pain Game, have you seen his eyes? Because I've known AJ for a long time and I could tell from his eyes that something wasn't right. And when the fight started and the bell went, he just looked like a novice. His chin was in the air, he had that low lead hand, and Daniel Dubois pushed him straight onto the back foot. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe because it really helps. He looked like a fish out of water. My predictions beforehand, I said Daniel Dubois might struggle with the pressure. 96,000 people. I said that AJ, this is just the norm. He's used to this sort of pressure. But Daniel, he may struggle. But how wrong was I? It turns out, all along, it was AJ that was struggling with the pressure. And Daniel, he done what Daniel does. He does exactly what it says on the tin. He came out and let his hands go. Daniel is an underthinker, which actually works to his advantage, because he's got tunnel vision, seek and destroy. And it also makes it easier for his coach, because when he's given instructions, he doesn't second guess it, he just does as he's told. Whereas AJ is an overthinker. And again, I did say in my predictions, I said if AJ spends too much time overthinking, hesitating, it'll be a huge problem. When you've got Daniel Dubois bulldozing forward, you need to be able to pull the trigger. Even going back to my GB days, AJ was always a thinker, always looking for information, and he was like a sponge. You could see his brain was always going. And early in your career, that's a good thing, because you need to be like a sponge to learn new things. But when you get to the elite level, it's a problem. Because at that stage, you've got to have the confidence, the clarity, and the belief in the tools you have. Because the margins at the elite level are so small, there's no room for second guessing. There was that time before he fought Alexander Usyk, and he was waiting to do the ring walk, and he asked Clifton Mitchell what he thought he should be doing, which is absolute madness. I mean, what's the point in having a team, in a training camp to work on a game plan, to right at the last minute ask somebody else? It's crazy. This is where Daniel being an underthinker is actually an advantage. And as we're seeing against Miller and Hrgovic, it can get him into trouble. But as we're seeing, he did come through it and find a way. Of course we know he's not the finished article and there's definitely room for improvement. But as we're seeing against AJ, it was enough. And for a lot of the heavyweights out there, it'll also be enough. Don Charles, Daniel's trainer, said he would beat AJ. And Don Charles is one of AJ's former trainers. He said he knew him inside and out, knew all his strengths and all his weaknesses, and said he could devise a plan to beat AJ. And obviously, as you know, I disagreed. But I did say in my predictions, the fight against Otto Wallen and also Francis Ngannou, that may have given us false reading. And I said we'd need to see him in with a live opponent. There was the rumour that Daniel had dropped AJ in sparring. But to be honest, it may have played its part, but I think it was mainly down to AJ's lack of self-belief. I think the trauma that was left behind from the defeat to Andy Ruiz and possibly even getting dropped off Klitschko never really went away. I think myself and everybody thinking AJ is back to his best from, them wins against Otto Wallen and Francis Ngannou. That, coupled with, his partnership with Ben Davison, without doubt was false reading. I'm totally shocked by the advice that was given in the AJ corner. The advice given by Ben Davison.
Now, double job, bring it up, roll the dice, he'll double another right hand, lift it, yeah?
Roll the dice. Is he crazy? This is one of AJ's biggest fights, and he tells him to roll the dice. Just gamble. Absolute madness. Bearing in mind, he'd already been hurt. He needed to be making smart moves, not gambling. AJ's stance and hand position was all wrong. Standing tall with his chin in the air in a low lead hand. Even after getting dropped, he never made the adjustment. That tells me him and Ben Davison had been drilling things to fight that way. Because when you get hurt, you go into autopilot and you go back to form. Stepping in with a double jab, right uppercut is dangerous. When I'm coaching, I always tell people it's dangerous. Normally you're susceptible to a left hook. But Shane McGuigan called it. Stepping in with a double jab right uppercut against a guy like Daniel Dubois, who throws a lot of short right hands, is dangerous for the counter. Especially with AJ standing tall with his chin in the air with a low lead hand. It's a car crash waiting to happen, and we're all seeing what happened. AJ was also trying the jab to the body, then shooting the right hand, and I've seen him do that plenty of times before, and it worked. It worked against Povetkin, but with Daniel Dubois, he wasn't taking the bait, so it wasn't working. And also, AJ's timing was all off. AJ was definitely trying things despite being hurt. I mean, I say his timing was off. His speed wasn't there, his balance wasn't there, his power wasn't there, everything was just off. You've got to give Daniel the credit for not allowing AJ to do what he wanted and normally does. For being so tunnel visioned, being so focused and executing the game plan. Everybody talks about and questions AJ's chin. Well, that punch he got caught with in the first round would have probably knocked out a horse. He was hurt and dropped multiple times, and he kept getting back up. And I know the final time he didn't make the count, but he didn't show any quit. He still tried to get back up. In that round 5, it looked like AJ was about to turn it around. He caught Daniel with that straight right hand and went to follow it up and threw that stupid punch that Ben Davison told him to throw, and the rest was history. Me and the boys in the pain game was stunned.
What are we witnessing? What are we witnessing? Anthony Joshua is down. He's not going to beat the count. He is all over. He's knocked out. Anthony Joshua.
After beating AJ, his confidence will be through the roof. Putting it simply, AJ got it wrong and Daniel got it right. A lot of people say that Daniel is just a straightforward fighter, but I say heavyweight boxing is in a league of its own. Because of the size and power, sometimes all you need is good boxing basics. You know, confidence, a good chin, killer instinct, and like I say, power. And Daniel Dubois has all of it. Credit to Daniel, he's come a long way since losing to Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk. His partnership with Don Charles has been the ticket to success. He's remained focused despite the ups and downs. He's stayed active and he's now the IBF champion of the world. He's shown a tremendous amount of inner strength and drive. He's a man of few words, but he lets his fists do the talking. Daniel's only 27, which is young for a heavyweight. He's only going to get better. He's not even fully physically developed. A lot of the top guys are coming to the end of the career and are probably past the best. And I'm pretty confident that Daniel's going to be the next heavyweight king. He's already said he wants to be undisputed. He wants the winner of Usyk versus Fury. I would give him a good chance against Fury, but Alexander Usyk, I'm not so sure. He's already beat him once, and I think he'll beat him again. Right now, Alexander Usyk is just too good. In my opinion, AJ's got the tools to beat Daniel, but as we've seen, it takes way more than that. It takes confidence and self-belief. I can't lie, it killed me seeing AJ getting beat like that, because I'm a huge fan and also will go way back. We both had a similar start to a boxing career. I started at the age of 19 and he started at the age of 18. We both boxed in the 2009 ABAs and he won them that year. I got to the finals and I won them the following year. When I got my first call up to box for England, I remember getting to the hotel and the coach is saying, "You're sharing a room with him." And I look over and there's this man mountain standing there. And at the time, I couldn't really remember his face because when I was boxing in the ABAs, I was only really concentrating on myself. So I look over and I think, Jesus Christ, he's huge. And I just remember telling the lads on the pain game, when we got to the hotel room, AJ went in the shower and he came out in just his towel and sat on the edge of the bed. And I looked over, I thought, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. But anyway, it was all good. He was the nicest guy you could meet, and I made it out alive, so happy days. The following day, we both boxed and both won, and he went on to box for GB, and I got selected about a year later. So I was lucky enough to train alongside him and witness the journey. And like I say, we had similar beginnings, but I'll emphasise beginnings because one guy done okay and the other guy become a superstar. You've got to respect AJ for wanting the rematch, but you've got to ask the question, why? He's already achieved so much in the sport. He's been amazing for the sport of boxing. His legacy's already made. I mean, he's made lots of money. So why? If he's really honest with himself, has he really got, deep down in his heart, the motivation and the drive? I'm not saying he should call it a day, because who am I to tell any fighter to call it a day? I just hope that he thinks long and hard before he makes a decision. As a fan, I just want the best for AJ. It's too much of a dangerous sport, especially at heavyweight, if your heart's not fully in it. The whole show was amazing. Riyadh season boxing. Turkey Al Sheikh's doing a great job, and I was grateful to be part of it. And well done to Daniel Dubois. He's a great fighter. He's so exciting to watch. He turned up and he delivered. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe and go and watch this video next.